Hello planner babes. So today I wanted to hop on here and do a quick video. Well, it's not going to be a quick video, let's be real. This one's going to be a little bit lengthier than most of mine. The reason that I wanted to do this is, I don't know how many people noticed this, but in the new Teacher Happy planners, the ones that come singly out of a box, which is what I ended up getting. This one actually also has a box set, but I didn't need to get the box set. I actually don't use washi that much in my Teacher Happy planner. Some people do, and I use washi a lot in my home planner, but I don't use it so much in my work planner, my teacher planner. The other things that come inside of that box happen to be stickers, and while I absolutely love stickers and I use them a ton in my home planner, I have so many stickers at home right now. I really didn't feel necessary to purchase more stickers. I bought all four teacher sticker packs from years previous, so I didn't need all of the stuff that came in a box set. But I did notice, and some of you may have noticed this also, the box set Happy Planners actually had a couple extra pages in them. And I realized after I got this one that those pages exist only in the box sets. And I'm not really sure why, but I was convinced that I wanted these pages. They call them the Year at a Glance. Now this is the Year at a Glance that comes in almost every single planner that I've ever seen from a Happy Planner. It's usually one page, sometimes it's 2 pages, but this particular Year at a Glance that is in the box set ones is 3 columns, and they have a month in each column with every single day listed out. And I thought that would be really, really helpful for me to be able to look at the entire year at a glance, write things in overall, and then add them into my months at the back. But I couldn't find anything on Pinterest of all places, and maybe I just wasn't using the right terminology. I looked on Google, couldn't find anything, so I decided, you know what the heck? I'm gonna create this for myself, and I thought I would make a video of it. While this is a trial run that you're going to be watching me make, so heads up, I've got my whiteout available because there may be mistakes. This is something that I thought maybe other people would be interested in finding out too. So we're going to do this together. For this, I have gone online, and I'll put a link below. I just printed some basic dot grid. I don't know if you can see that well, but I printed some basic dot grid and I did it double-sided. This is 32-pound paper, so it's a little bit thicker than what you normally get for computer printing paper, but I printed this out. You could do this on any paper, and honestly, if you're using measurements, you really don't even need the dot grid. But if you happen to have some either big size Happy Planner dot grid paper, or you just want to do like I did, which is print it offline, or maybe you have some dot grid from somewhere else, I'm pretty sure you could use any kind of paper. I'm going to use the dot grid because it helps me without having to use a ruler to kind of figure that out. The other thing I'm going to be using is my mild liners, and I'm going to add color in for the weekends. And I may do that on this video. I may run over time. I hate to make videos too long, but got my whiteout handy. I have my Stabilo. This is a 68, so this is a little bit wider tip. I'm not going to be writing the dates myself. If I was doing that, I would want to make sure I was using a thinner tip than this one. Either my gel pens or the Stabilo 88s would be great for that. I'm going to use stickers for the dates, I think. The other thing I've got is just a basic pencil, and then I've got, because this is my paper and not Happy Planner paper, I've got my punch ready, so I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to be using the journaling pack and the dates and holidays pack because I already have both of these. You could use, this is the memory keeping dates and holidays. You could use any of these by itself. You could use a combination of them together, so don't feel like you need to run out and grab a new sticker book. Use what you have, and honestly, you could do this without any stickers whatsoever, which I know sounds like taboo in the creative planning world, but really, you could do this without any stickers. I'm going to use these two most likely. This one for the month names, and the dates and holidays for the tiny little date stickers. So I'm going to use that. And then the other thing I've got is I have my teacher planner here just kind of as a reference so that I can look up and see the dates and months as I'm going along. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to punch this paper and make sure that I have it punched in the right spots. So if you'll notice, this is a classic size Happy Planner punch. Man, the words are escaping me today. This is big size Happy Planner paper. or in this case, just my paper. Nonetheless, you can do this, and if you haven't seen a video of this before, this is your chance for a quick tutorial. So what you do is you line this up perfectly, and the 8.5 by 11 actually fits in here. It's just that the punch itself is only going to punch for the classic size. So pull that out. Obviously, see, that's only 9 punches, and we are missing the 2 on the ends. So what you can do is you can take off the back of this guy, and you can see the punches along here. So we're going to take one of these sheets of paper. I'm going to line up this hole with this punch here, because that one's already been done, and it'll help perfectly space the last one that I need. So I'm going to slide this in here until that's perfectly lined up. See how that disappears? So I punch through, and now I have that last hole punch done. I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. I'm going to line up this hole with this punch, and that way I'll get the last hole. So go like this, line it up. Oh, close. Punch it through. And there you go. So that one's done. Do the same thing on this sheet of paper really quickly. Line up that last hole. Punch through. And the other side. Line up the last hole. Punch through. So that is the 11 punches necessary for the big happy planner. So move that trash out of the way. I don't need my punch anymore, so we will get rid of that. So here I just started spacing everything out, counting blocks, make sure that I was getting the columns as wide as I needed them. I ended up doing 12 dots across for each of the 3 columns, and then I put 2 squares worth of dots between each of the columns, and I traced all of this in pencil before I did any marker or pen. So I really took my time. I will tell you I made mistakes. I ended up setting these too far off center and was not happy with how they turned out. So I ended up erasing all of the lines and starting all over again. But ultimately, I made the mistakes that I made because I had never done this before, and I kind of went into this blind. All in all, I will tell you that this entire project took me about an hour and a half with my errors and everything, but I've already done those mistakes for you, so I'm sure it won't take you nearly as long. So now I went through and I started doing the spacing for the top to bottom. So for each day, the depth that I wanted each day to have. And I ended up figuring it up as being 1.5 boxes on the grid chart. So that put me with a perfect amount of space top to bottom. I also left 6 dots at the top for my header, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. But this worked out really, really great, and it allowed me to have enough space to put my stickers in, which you'll see in just a few moments. But again, I only did this in pencil first. I didn't jump right into using the pen, and I'm really grateful that I didn't, also because, again, I made a few errors along the way. Ultimately, the 1.5 boxes actually gave me a great amount of space, and I'm sure I'll be able to write in holidays, events, and things like that. So this is just me tracing through. I used a cover that I purchased on Etsy, actually. That's what I'm using as my straight edge. But honestly, I really didn't need the straight edge that much because the box grid, dot grid actually sets you up really well to just be able to freehand this. So to review, there's 12 dots side to side in each column with 2 boxes between each column, 6 dots at the top for a header, and 1.5 boxes vertically for every day of the week, for every day of the month, sorry. So ultimately that gave me almost the perfect amount of spacing, and I think it turned out really, really well. So after I did all of the tracing in pencil, I came back through with my pen and started going over all those lines. Again, you can see I'm using a straight edge with this old planner cover, but you really don't need the straight edge. You'll see me later on in the video, I think, go over, and I end up not using the straight edge at all. I end up just using the dot grid, which is actually super simple to use. This kind of resembles a little bit of bullet journaling in terms of setting up these items without actually having them pre-printed. This freedom I really like. I'm not all about always creating things by hand. I really do love what Happy Planner offers in terms of having things preset, but every once in a while it's kind of nice to have the freedom to do that. So you can see me just going over the lines here and the vertical lines, and then I'll start going over the horizontal lines too. Okay, so if you'll recall, I said that this was a trial run and that there were going to be mistakes, and there definitely are mistakes. I need to make, in order for this to work, to make 12 months, I need to make 2 of these sheets front and back. This was my first run. Now to me, this feels very, well, I don't like it. This feels very cramped. I feel like the lines are too bold. The measurements were right though. Once I did a couple of trial and errors, I did get the measurements right. These headers I think will work perfectly. They're a little bit larger than I had anticipated, but I think they'll work out just fine. The spacing all works well, but it just seemed too busy and too heavy for me. So I decided to go back through. This was done with a Stabilo 68, which is more like a marker, truly. I looked at using my felt tip pens, my flare pens. I decided not to do that. So I went back through and I did the same grid in a lighter format. This is with my Papermint Inkjoy 0.5 gel pens. I have it all over my hands too, which is awesome. But I went back through and I did this, and I really like this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to trash this one because this is not something that I want to be using, but I'll set it over here for now. What I want to do now is I need to set this up to be my July, August, and September. And if you'll notice, I left this down here. These are 31 days for July and August and 30 days for September. So now I'm jumping into putting in my dates. I'm going to start with the monthly headers. These I took from the journaling sticker book. You don't really need stickers. You could totally just freehand this, write it in the way that you want to. I am partial to my stickers, still working on my own hand lettering, so I really like that these come pre-assembled. I ended up using them for the entire time. Now I'm moving on to my dates and holidays sticker book. This one's a few years old, but I'm pretty sure I still find it. I'm going to end up using the tiny little box stickers for every day of the week or every day of the month, but before I do that, I want to make sure I use highlighters. I'm going to use these mild liners, and I'm going to color in the weekend days. This is something that I saw in the Happy Planner box set version of the teacher planner, where each of the weekends is just slightly colored. So I decided to use my mild liners here because it'll work out really well. I did not want to put the stickers down first because I want the stickers to actually be on top of the color, and since these are clear stickers, there's no way I can actually successfully cover over them. So I started in August, not July, because the calendar that I'm using as reference actually starts in August, so I knew I could get August dates correct, and then I'm just counting 5 boxes in between, pretty non-technical stuff that I'm doing here, but I am picking a specific color for each month, and you'll see I end up using the chiseled end to color in the weekends, and then I went back and used the round tip to actually color in the journaling sticker that I used as the header for the month. So that way I kind of tie those two elements in together. And then I'm going to move on and use a different color for each of the months. I did end up recycling some of the colors later on in the year, but none of them show up on the same 2 pages, so it worked out really well. I decided to work ahead and go through September and then go back and hit July. That seemed to work out pretty well for me. And I liked the colors that I chose here, some alternating jewel tones, and kind of keep it bright and colorful. So I finished July, August, and September. Now I've outlined October, November, December, and I'm going through and I'm adding in the coloring for the weekends, and then I'll color the headers also. One of the most important things that happens here as I'm working through this is that I end up making an error. It's not the first one in this project, but what I ended up doing was I didn't pay attention at the end of November, and you'll see this here in just a couple of seconds, but didn't pay attention at the end of November, and Saturday is actually the last day in November, which means Sunday is the first day in December, and because I don't have dates or anything on the calendar yet, I made an error and I ended up going ahead and coloring days that weren't actually weekends. And you'll see me realize it about halfway through December. These are the kinds of mistakes that happen when you create something that you don't have a true template for in front of you. But that's okay. Whiteout is one of my best friends. I came through and I ended up just whiting out over the days that I messed up, coming back through and adding in the pen lines where I needed to, and coloring the days that I actually needed. It didn't end up being a big deal at all. But it just goes to show that you can make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with it. This one I actually didn't even cover up with a sticker. I just used my whiteout and my pen and went on my merry way. This is probably my favorite of the 4 pages that I created. I love the colors that I ended up choosing here. I feel like they really are jewel tones on this page. I've got the kind of sapphire colored blue, and then the topaz colored purple. And then I selected my December color to be gray, which I know really isn't a jewel tone, but these mild liners are so pretty and they work together so well. So here I go. Yep, totally didn't pay attention to November 30th being a Saturday. Started coloring in December and put December 1 to a Saturday, Sunday. That's not correct. But like I said, mistakes happen, not a big deal. It ended up working out okay in the end, and honestly, the overall product, unless you're looking for it, you really can't tell. Don't be afraid of the mistakes that you make. It's okay. That's why this is called creativity, because we try something and it doesn't always work out. Whew. All right, well, everything's a mess, but I think you can see that I have done all 12 months of the year. So I have July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, and this is set up almost identical to what came in the box set. So it did take me a little while, and obviously I made some mistakes along the way, but ultimately I think this will work out really well in my Teacher Happy planners. This in here. Open this up. And we've got it's perfectly. That's so exciting. Well, as always, I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure to hit subscribe. And please leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. I will put some links to the dot grid that's in here, as well as some of the items that I used to make this. And whether you're a happy planner or you use a bullet journal or you just want to try out this format, I think this is really useful. Looking forward to using it in my own planning. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.